Are you, am I, are we together? All of us, everybody on this planet. Are we happy with our co creation? Are we happy with the record number of youth committing suicide? Are we happy with more people than ever dying from hunger? Are we excited about the amount of people who are checked out of this reality? Whether that be with drugs or video games. I recently talked to a youth who said, I like video games because I get to leave this reality and go to a different one. And that youth is not alone. There are many people who feel the same way. It is very easy to point the finger at somebody else and say, this is like that because of this person. Society's a word that people like to say, but if you boil it down, what society is, it's me and it's you. That's all society is. And together we have created some, I'm gonna call them machines. When creators create things, it's to make their lives and other people's lives better. That's the only reason why people create. I'm not going to focus on what some people would call bad people or things like that. We're just going to focus on the people who have the same similar vibration, energy, and frequency. Creators. People who create things to make the world funner, more beautiful, more enjoyable. So if all these creators look at themselves in the mirror and look around and see at their creation, if we look at the fruits, that's the best way to see what kind of tree you have. If you look at the fruit, and I just talked about some of the fruits that we have currently, and they're not fruits I prefer. So let's talk about some big creations. Best person to start with is yourself, so I'm going to start with my country. I live in America. I just thought about that. For some reason, we only call America the land between Canada and Mexico. But if you look at maps, world maps, they call this entire land America. They separate it by the words north and south, but they call the whole thing America. But if you go outside of the area that I live in, they wouldn't call themselves Americans. They would call themselves another word. Just a thought I had. Not sure why it's like that. But since 1776 and a couple of years later, this country, America, has been the empire on this planet. And if we look at what the earth has become since we have taken over, it's not what I prefer. And I'm pretty sure it's not what you prefer either. And I'm not trying to say it's all bad or poor me, anything like that. I'm strictly here for the truth. And that's the best place to start. To me, it's the only place to start if you want to get somewhere. And that is the whole purpose of this conversation I'm having here with myself and with you, whoever watches this. So if we look at what the Americans between Canada and Mexico created since 1776, we have created a military, a government, a financial system. These are just the ones that stick out in my mind. A healthcare system, education system. Let's just stick with those. Are we healthier? What are the fruits of the healthcare system? That's what I mean by are we healthier? Education system. I'm not for the word smart. So whatever word, I'll let you choose whatever word you want to use for education. I'll just say, are we more educated? Banking system. Are we wealthier? And I don't mean that just financially. I mean wealth in every aspect of the word. And currency allows us to become more wealthy in different areas than just what most people call money. So are we wealthier? Did our creation bear the fruit that we want? Government comes from the word governed. Do we feel that our creation has bear the fruit that we prefer? And let's go to military. Do we feel that the United States military, along with all the agencies, have done exactly what we want them to do, what they were designed for? Now, if we can't answer any of those questions I just asked with yes, they do exactly what I want them to do, that means there's room for improvement. Let me say this one. Imagine every human on the planet left. All our creations would leave with us. All those things I just talked about, healthcare, government, education, they would all be gone in a blink of an eye. The physical structures might be there, but the things themselves would be gone. So that means that we created them wholeheartedly. They were our creation. I was downstairs about to go to sleep and all these ideas just started coming to me, and I thought to myself, why not make a video out of it? the idea of being a creator and then not being responsible for your creation really just sat on me this last hour or so. If you could take it down to a microcosm and imagine that you single-handedly created all these things that I just brought up, how would you feel? Would you be proud of your creation? Or would you feel more like the creator of the Nobel Peace Prize? I feel more like him right now. The Constitution of the United States, the Constitution for the United States. I said that twice on purpose in two different ways. It's a great idea. It reminds me of sports. If you got a really good coach in basketball or football, there's sports I played, so I'll stick with those ones. So imagine you have a really good coordinator. They're the ones that came up with the game plan. It makes me wonder, how do you go from creating the greatest game plan of all time, what a lot of people say the Constitution is, how do you go from that 1776 to 2020 with all this fruit that we don't prefer? Where's the wink link in the chain? And I have to say it's us. Doesn't feel good to say, but it feels good to say because it's the truth. And once we take responsibility for our actions, only then can we change them. In America, we have allowed our creations to rule us. They were supposed to make our lives easier and simpler and better, and they have done the opposite. It really reminds me of artificial intelligence. A lot of people are concerned about that right now. But we have already created, in so many words, artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence thinks for you. That's exactly what our government does. It makes decisions for you because it knows better than you. That's exactly what our government does. Everybody knows that there's something wrong, but then they get told, well, that's just the way it is. They get told, it's been that way before you were born, it's going to be that way after you die. They get told, tough luck. The world's not a pretty place. These are the terms and the ideas, the beliefs that get passed along from generation to generation. Imagine what those ideas and beliefs could create. You don't really have to imagine because you can just look around beside you and see what is created. Because for a very long time, those beliefs have been master, meaning they've been the king and they've created what we now experience. So, after you marinate on what I've been talking about, what we've been sharing here, if you come to the conclusion, the same way that I have, that you no longer want to be tacitly agreeing or wholeheartedly consenting in co-creating these trees that bear the fruit that doesn't nourish our bodies, our souls, or our spirits. If you want to create a different reality for the next generation, contact me. You can email me. You can hit me up on Facebook Messenger. You can call me if you got my number. There's going to be a group of people in this new year of 2021 who create a totally different reality. One that we've been trained and programmed to believe is impossible. Intentionally. We've been told that. It might be the same reason why we lie to our kids and tell them about these holidays. To allow them to live in a lie as long as possible so they can keep their innocence. But we know it's not real and it's not true. If you'd rather create a reality where the fruit does nourish our bodies, our souls, and our spirits, and our minds, and we don't have to make up stories for our children to have their innocence. If the world around them that they live in mirrors back at them that innocence, if that's something you're interested in, if that's something that makes you excited, if that's something that makes your body tingle, where you can feel the energy moving up and down this vehicle that we call a body, then contact me. My email account is emeryfrazier@gmail.com. EMERYFRAZIER. Some people are going to say, well, what's the alternative? My answer to that is whatever we create. Everything you see around you, every single thing was a thought. So that means all we have to do is bring some minds together of similar vibration, frequency, and energy. And with those thoughts, we can create a reality where everyone, everything can be in balance. Because the things we create reflect that balance. We can create a reality where every creator takes responsibility for their creations. And there's no pointing fingers. And there's no kicking the can down the decade to the next generation. There is only the man and the woman in the mirror looking back at you saying, is this what you prefer? So, I'll end this by asking you, is this what you prefer? I love you.